want to go back down to 168. And with that being said, let's get into topic number one, which is Saul Canelo Alvarez losing to Dmitry Bivol. All three judges on the night had it 115 to 113, while most observers had it a much wider margin than being just one round away from a draw. We saw Canelo Alvarez dominated like we probably haven't seen him dominated before. We saw a fighter that absolutely just couldn't really get to Dmitry Bivol, and in certain spots absolutely took a lot of punishment from Dmitry Bivol. So Q, tell me what your reaction is to the money man of boxing, Canelo Alvarez, taking a loss to Dmitry Bivol. Will he end up trying to do an immediate rematch? Will he go ahead and go through with the fight against Gennady Golivkin, which he promised Triple G in the fall? Give me your synopsis of what the fallout should be for Canelo Alvarez in his camp in the aftermath of losing to Dmitry Bivol.
Well, I feel like in this loss, I feel like I think it's good for boxing, and that's what I'm gonna say that first, just because. And shout out to Canelo Alvarez, and this ain't no hate, you know what I'm saying? So all the Canelo Navy, Army, Beehive, whatever, Cinnamon Tribe, whatever it is.
Listen, hey, bro, cause they'll come for you. They'll come for you, man.
Bro, miss me with, you know what I'm saying? Listen, hear me out. I mean, it's my opinion, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like Canelo, even though Canelo has been a face of boxing, I will say that. I will say he's been a face of boxing. He's been very consistent in fighting. You know, I've defended him on numerous pods, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Against my brothers, you know what I'm saying? I defended him by saying, you know, he never sat on his hands and just, you know what I'm saying? He always stayed active. Whether it's fighting somebody we don't agree with, that we don't think is a real match, if it's not the guy that we want to see him fight. It's been a lot of people calling for him to fight certain guys in certain divisions, and you know, he move up to other divisions and fight. Sometimes it seems like he it's a little cherry picking in a lot of eyes of, you know, and I'm one of them. I say, you know, like the Caitlin Smith fight, you know what I'm saying? You know, who, you know, Caitlin Smith, nobody thought he had a chance, you know. Certain fights, and I just feel like this time, you know, he bit off more than he could chew, man. He really bit off more than he could chew. I really saluted him even early. Like, remember my child, like, yo, this man finna fight Bivol. Because we were thinking it was gonna be Charlo, you know what I'm saying? And I really thought at this point, because I've been calling for the Charlo fight. But yeah, at this point, I feel like Charlo, no. I personally don't feel like Charlo could do nothing with Canelo. People still hollering about Charlo. I'm not talking about Charlo. I'm more of I wanted to see my man Andrade, him and Demetrius Andrade more than Charlo, you know. But after this fight happened, I think, because I just feel like Canelo's been catered to so much, and whatever he wants to do, from the paydays to, you know, it's ironic. That's his thing. He holler out payday. Say he took $15 million for this fight. I think that, you know, I don't know how true that is, but I heard.
I think he took much. I think he took much more than that, man.
How much?
Yeah, no, because the reason why I think he took more than that is because what they're saying, they came out and announced that they essentially offered $100 million from PBC for what was it, Charlo, and either Benavidez or Errol Spence. So I know that according,
the 3 fights.
No. What PBC offered and what they had on the table was, first fight would have been against Jamal Charlo, and then they would have given Canelo Alvarez the option in fight number 2 to end up fighting either Errol Spence Jr. or end up fighting David Benavidez, and he turned that down. And so I believe that Eddie Hearn still matched it with like a $90 to $100 million deal for Bivol, Triple G, and then a possible third fight in December. But I don't know if that'll still happen now with the loss.
Okay. Because yeah, so however it goes, man, he's in a position, because you can't say you don't want a rematch because you got spanked. Even though the zone judges tried to, we already
still tried to.
We already know, boy. You know, man, they put his stamp on it like he put his stamp on it. You know, it'll be a whole nother conversation. But you know, I'm glad that like I said, with Dimitri's, I mean, with Bivol, what I saw, and I said this in the comments somewhere because I saw some on YouTube where they were speaking on the Caleb Plant fight in the part where Caleb Plant went to talking to Canelo in the fight, looking like he was asking for approval. I'm pretty good for 168, or I'm pretty good for 21 fights. So what happened in the fights, and Canelo like, yeah, you pretty good. Then he knocked him out in the next round or two. You know what I'm saying? I said, listen, and because I was watching Bivol interview, and he said, man, you know, he ain't worried about nothing. He didn't know nothing. He didn't know what day it was. He didn't. I mean, you know, he wasn't worried about nothing but the fight. He said he ain't even leaving his room, his hotel like that. He ain't talking to nobody. That's the only thing, because they try to ask him all these other questions. I don't know nothing about nothing. And so when he got in the ring, that's the mindset he had, and that's what you're going to have. You know what I'm saying? See, me, you know, I thought Canelo was going to win a unanimous decision or a split decision in a close fight. But what I didn't know was the level of how they was going to take each other's power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so with that being said, because we always say you gotta be able to, not only you gotta be able to box, but you gotta be able to make Canelo respect you and keep him off of you. And when I tell you, he put it on Canelo, you know what I'm saying, by jabbing and boxing and then fighting when he mixed it up so well. And then what sticks in mind was, I don't know what round it was, but when he had Canelo against the ropes and was flushing him, and Canelo was getting touched up decent. 4-5 punch combinations, getting hit with at least 70% of them. Then Canelo sit back and he'll tell him that, you know, you've seen this before. You've seen Canelo.
Right.
He want to call because he's
call you to the ropes.
He's the counter puncher. He want to set you up with something because he does have power and he has good upper body movement on his defense. You know, footwork ain't that great. That's something that people need to, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's great defensive upper body, but his footwork ain't that great. And my man controlled the distance with his footwork and his reach and his boxing IQ. So where he went, the telling moment of the fight that let me know that Canelo was going to lose is when he did that, when he was beating Canelo pretty decisively. And then he told, when Canelo called for him to come, you know, whatever, come get off so I could counter you with something, hurt you, possibly. And he stood back, he took a step back, and he said, you come to me.
Right,
bro.
he ain't fall for that trap.
Bro.
Yeah, Bivol ain't fall for it.
Everybody see him flushing you, so you won't control my emotions. I'm not emotional, bro. I don't have nothing to be emotional about. You know, so I'm gonna say the last thing and then let you have it, brother. So Canelo not jabbing at all, throwing all these haymakers. It has caught up with him. We've said plenty of times and numerous spots. And shout out to my brother J Box. He was the first one to say this. Canelo power couldn't save him this time. You fought a bigger man that had stuck to a game plan and that could take your punch. And he stuck this game plan and he makes it up in the best way. I mean, you know, Mike Tyson said something to the effect of a jab, simply a jab. Canelo he can win a fight with just a jab, but I bet it differ in that. You know what I'm saying? I bet it differ because the boxing acumen that I just seen Bivol display and the way the discipline, and he, not to mention he has about a 1.5 inch reach advantage. That jab, it'll take a few rounds to get the timing down, but once he get that timing down, whenever he see Canelo looking like he throwing it, pop, he and Canelo, you know, so that he'll win the jabbing contest, in my opinion. So what you got, brother?
Hey man, first off, I wanna salute Dmitry Bivol because this was definitely a star-making performance. This absolutely catapults his name to a higher level in the sport of boxing since he beat the money man. Without a doubt, I think that people are going to tune in more because not only did he beat Canelo, but he's undefeated still. Yes. So now when you take those two things into account, I feel like Dmitry Bivol absolutely just saw a bump in his pay scale when it comes to how much he can demand to get paid for any future fights when he goes up against anybody. So salute to him for taking on Canelo Alvarez in this fight for his title. Now, let me get